この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here to continue our journey through Hyouka. Hyo desu ka? Sorry, I thought of that right before recording and I had to say it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, last week on Hyouka, we did 3 episodes to complete the I don't know what to call it arc. The finding the almanac arc. Wait, is it almanac or there's another word for it? Whatever. They made a thing and they're going to keep making a thing. Interesting mystery. A little bit of a dip in terms of like my enjoyment of the episodes in the middle there, but then it kind of brought it back with a really weird answer to the questions that we've been seeking. Yeah, really strange. I do want to clarify something that somebody asked in a comment. They asked me like why I didn't get the Hyouka thing, and my answer was I thought that they were saying that Hyouka was an English word that meant ice cream, and that doesn't make any sense. That was just me being stupid. Is okay. I get it now. It's still kind of dumb, but it also makes sense in context as somebody like using a Japanese word to make an English pun because. Yeah, okay. Weird answer to an interesting question. Still, a couple of episodes that were absolutely chock full of interesting direction, interesting stylistic choices, and ways of portraying information. A bit of Monogatari vibes to an extent, just a little bit in some of the interesting presentation, especially of backstory and things that individual characters know and are going through in their own minds, and very cool, very enjoyable. But it has become kind of clear that the mysteries in this story are not exactly the focal point of the story. This is more than anything, from what I've seen and from what I understand, this show is more than anything a slice of life romedy, with a heavy emphasis on the romantic elements, where the mysteries are just the aspect of slice of lifeiness, in the same way that the music is the aspect of slice of lifeiness that binds K-On! Together. But the real point is the development of the characters and their relationships as a group, and the funny things and interesting things that they do as a group. In this case, it's more that the mysteries are the vehicle for showing us the character development of Oriki and his growing interest and romantic interest in Chitanda. Oh my god. That was such a moment. Okay. I don't dislike that as an idea, and it helps me to sort of distance myself from wanting really intriguing, super fucking awesome mysteries, because that's not the point. The point is the characters, and this also helps me sort of fit Hyouka into the lineage of KyoAni works that I've seen before, where the characters are really the focus here, and I'm more interested in that than pretty much anything else, especially when it comes to KyoAni's character development and the way that they go about portraying it visually. Helps me sort of align it with the things that I love about something like Hibike. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there and see how y'all respond in the comments. In any case, we kind of finished up that arc, so I'm interested to see where we go next and whether we're going to get a few episodes of more solo, self-contained adventures and mysterious happenings and moving toward other things character development wise, or whether we're going to dive right on into another kind of bigger sweeping arc thing. Really don't know, but we're going to watch episode 6, and then we're probably going to watch episode 7, and then we're probably, barring massive cliffhangers, gonna leave it there for the week. So, the plan is to watch episodes 6 and 7 of Hyouka, and that's what we're gonna do. So, I have episode 6 of Hyouka up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. I'm still using the Cole Girls subs. Nobody has told me to do otherwise, so I'm gonna keep using them until somebody tells me to do otherwise. That's your invitation if you want to go and yell at me for using the Cole Girl subs, by the way. I keep saying so. I've got the episode up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to sync up your own copy of the episodes with the timer-based version up on YouTube, you're welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right about now. Fucking plebs. Yep. Back to the pencil. Until it wasn't. Oh, the worst. Chitanda's in 1A, right? Weird music. Snapping your pencil is snapping your lead, trying to put it into a mechanical pencil is such a mood. Oh, jeez. Probably. So wait, is the music diegetic or non-diegetic? I don't get it. You were at the Senate. Nice. Nice. All right, I was informed that I should look more at this. The OP. Color comes to the environment. Lucky cat. Bits of light in his dark shadow all around the other characters. Pulling him along. Out to colorful adventures. Before it all becomes past. Before it becomes history. Interesting. A deadly sin. I don't think we've heard this piece of soundtrack before. Ignored. Premium cookies. Oh. No, she does not. Ooh. Ridiculously cute. Dude, she's gonna have a freaking heart attack. Thank you. Uh. Just trying to prevent Chitanda from having a heart attack over there. Too much effort. Way too much energy. That sounds terrifying. Seems like the quiet seether type. Yeah. Unlike you. Mmm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Poke that bear, Chitanda. Don't do it. That could be fun. Way too much energy. Mm. I wouldn't call Chitanda calm, exactly. Hmm. There it is. So we're talking about one of the seven. Mm-hmm. This is like under the sea. uh, Sloth. Yep, exactly what I was thinking. You don't know that. Hmm. I live for Chitanda pouts. I live for it. It is my sole purpose. For how long? Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Life needs things to live. And you need to relax at times. Sexual desire is normal and natural. Absolutely. No, anger is very much a useful trait. Hmm. Hey, that actually sounds like somebody else that. She's like me. Oh, she is an angel. Oh, Chitandael. Oh, darn. Well, about that. Usually it's a matter of opposites, and for sure. Yeah, tell us about a time that you become angry. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so it wasn't the music, it was something else. That's a curious face. Let's go. Oh no. Oh god. Oh no. They're multiplying. Later, I'm out of here before this starts. Nope. Shit. She got me. You don't know what happened, or you don't know why it made you angry? And it was during class, so it wouldn't have been lunchtime. No! The heir of Taisho has not yet come. Okay. Fighto, fighto. Premium letter cookies. I don't. Please, yeah, let's get all the info. He's a strict teacher? Oh. With a toupee? Yeah, how are you gonna get the root of that? The use of traditional... I assume they're kabuki masks, right? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because of the unfairness? Nice. Gotta sneak a cookie. Hmm. Not really. Is he teaching another more advanced class? Hmm. And again, strictness with rules and sins. Yeah, but you're gonna have to. I'm sure she would if she could. How can you refuse that face? Yep, not gonna work. She's the best. Also the worst for him. To know where we are? Yeah, that makes sense. He has another class that he teaches. Right. Maybe he's thinking 2A instead. Hmm. Absolutely. But are you curious? I would be. What you got, buddy? What you got, Sherlock? Did they mess up the nameplates? Hmm. Same book. Are they using a different book? Fucking textbook companies. Urgh. More like they need to move things around in the same text to sell more books. You keep saying as much. Gee. That's odd. Oh, letters. Terrible handwriting. He writes his A's big. He writes his A's as lowercase a's. No? No? Okay. Oreki Hotaro's writing. Right. Yeah, he always uses a lowercase a. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. They're close. Just no, but why did she get angry? Bye. Uh, mm. Oh, I bet that these are mixed frames again. We're gonna check. Not that much. Dark and light, rose-colored, and gray. You'll love it. Grab another cookie on the way out. Nope, just the book. Bright, dark. Aw, shucks. What else were you gonna do with it, bud? Little birds can remember. Looks like a tasty donut. Every single time I see it, I'm like, that's a donut. No, it's a bed. Looks like a tasty donut, though. Oh, Hot Springs episode. The ghost when examined. Okay, Hot Springs episode. Well, that's a thing. We will steel ourselves for that, but for the moment, there's not going to be like a massive amount to talk about this episode because it is sort of self-contained and it's a rather simple answer to the problem. There are some really interesting things in the way that this is presented. One of which being the crash test dummies, the other being the kabuki masks that have like traditional representations of specific characters or archetypes. And then the other thing that I found interesting was the discussion around sin because it fits in with my own beliefs on if you want to call them that, calling them sins. Um, which I think are just like as with most religious what would I say? What would be the word for things that are recommended against or prohibited? We'll say religious prohibitions. Um I usually fall on the side of like they're normal and natural things that over the course of long periods of time have been recognized that if they're indulged in too much lead to negative like consequences, and so they've been codified as rules of religious law or ways of being that things that should be forbidden or prevented. And I've talked about this. I talked about something similar recently in, I don't think it was in Hyouka. It was in something else that I'm watching, and I don't remember exactly what it was. Uh, about the idea of like entirely. Oh, it was a line. It may have been Hyouka. It may have been in the last episodes. It was a line about no, it was Monogatari, I think. It doesn't matter. A line about gluttony and stuff, or like absence of asceticism. Total absence of X thing is not necessarily the best thing. I found that to be a pretty interesting discussion in this episode, and one that I agree with because I mean, gluttony or want for food or hedonistic pleasures is a natural human thing. It's when it becomes the entire focus of your existence that it takes over from everything else, and that you deal with the very real biological consequences of eating and consuming too much. Wrath and anger is a necessary thing. Like, if you have things that you like and want to protect them, anger is part of the way that we do that, and it lets us know what's worthwhile. But when you indulge in it too much, you become wrathful, and that is not good for society. Greed, wanting and needing things is, life needs things to live. People need things to exist. We need to make money or otherwise support ourselves. But when you use the term greed for it, it's more speaking of hoarding in excess, and that's an issue. Envy and competition. I mean, competition is the positive flip side of envy. It's good, and it helps us grow and look toward others around us. Or admiration would be the other flip side. It helps us look at others and say, I want to be more like that. But when it becomes like jealous envy, it can be destructive. Sloth, relaxation, and recovery is a necessary thing, but when you indulge in it too much, and this one I think is probably the most important of these for this story in particular because of Oreki's outlook on life and energy expenditure. He is effectively an embodiment of sloth. Although it's not that he's particularly lazy, it's that he has this odd, somewhat twisted worldview when it comes to putting in effort for things. It's a little bit different, but it is a bit of an indictment of his way of life. Lust as well is a very natural human thing. Like, it leads to sex is wonderful, and intimacy is wonderful, and procreation is necessary, but when you indulge in it too much, it kind of like gluttony. You could say that gluttony and lust are very much the same kind of thing, just aimed at in different places. Uh, and then greed as well. The three of those are the wanting things of the seven sins, and all of them can take over and cause problems. Um, and then pride is another one where confidence or self assuredness is the flip side of pride. Uh, Pride is the one where it's usually not so warranted. I prefer arrogance as being the sin there, but all of these are they lend themselves to interesting discussion, and that's part of why that they're so often discussed in religious circles and otherwise. So I found that conversation to be interesting. One other thing that I definitely want to look at is around 2220, not 220. 2220. There's this scene where characters are acting at the same time, and I just want to check something as Chitanda begins to move. I want to see whether they continue moving on the same frames. So far, they are moving on the same frames, which is different from what we saw before in the last reaction, where they were like interpolated. There they go. It's mixed. Sometimes they're acting on the same frame, sometimes it's off. Interesting. Again, it gives the feeling of separate motion going on at the same time, which is rather cool. I will say I really enjoy the sequence when she's explaining what happened during the class, and we turn everybody into these mannequins. In one sense, it's a way to oh whoops. In one sense, it's a way to show us these characters without actually having to draw them. And in another, it's like setting the stage through imagination. Like she's explaining these things, but these are just people and not necessarily people that we need to be familiar with or that the people trying to discover the mystery need to be familiar with. We don't need anything excessive like characterization or faces that we might read into. It's just that this group is a group of students who engaged in this particular activity. It's kind of cool. It's an interesting way of showing stuff. And the little gags with the toupee falling off, and I like the animation of the reed or the piece of bamboo whipping across the blackboard. It's the only thing in the sequence that is fluid and animated fluidly. Everything else is kind of jerky like a mannequin. It's kind of cool. And then of course Chitanda amongst the rest, the Oni mask and the other masks. Very interesting. Very fun. And then just generally, I don't want to talk about it too much because it overlaps a lot with things that I've already discussed. The general shot composition and choice of like where we put the camera when we're looking at specific scenes is continuously engaging at the very least, if not used for like specific purposes. But like framing everything through the A that he's holding up, or shooting as she pleads with him, shooting from far above the shoulder. Just interesting shots that keep the show lively and engaging visually. Very cool. Also some plenty of symbolism of a sort in the use of color and shadow on specifically on Chitanda and Oreki, especially here. Gray here, bright there. Pretty straightforward. Okay, cool. This was a fun episode. Not the deepest this show has ever gotten, but also just fun and interesting and definitely engaging and had me giggling like an idiot a few times, which I quite enjoy. So, I want to go ahead and jump on into the second episode of the day, which would be episode 7. So I'm going to take a momentary break, sync everything up, and then we will be back for that. So, see you in a moment. Peace. All right, welcome back. We are good to go on episode 7 of Hyouka. I've got it up. It's ready. Beep beep timer. Nene. Oh, that was cool. Okay, all going on a trip to the hot springs, right? Which I think has the symbol of Hokago tea time, but I'm not sure. Oh no, not curious again. When a girl asks you to go to the hot springs, you say, hell yeah. That's such a Reina outfit. Mmm. Mmm. Relatives. Gotcha. Motion sickness is a bitch. Oh. Hmm. Oh, what? Oh, okay. I thought that was a different character who looked exactly like her for a moment. That was weird. Would never happen. Past the camera. Also, a bit of a dog's eye or tatami's eye view. I want a room full of tatami mats. I want it so bad. Hmm. Oh. So I wonder how the ghost will come into play. Wait. Hmm. 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 Solving mysteries. Pretty damn good at that. She's just curious. Hmm. Grass is always greener when it comes to siblings. Okay, it's not the Hokago tea time. Nope. Darn. Probably. Clever. It's nice. Yeah. No. Very. Isn't he always? Not really. He's very tense about his sloth. Oh, KyoAni. Stop. Oh, buddy. No. I'm sure that's what it was. That outfit is super cute. With the suspenders and the like sailor shirt. Fuck. Chitanda? Or the ghost? That's Chitanda. Oh. Ooh. Haha. Can you overhear all of it? Hmm. Into his imagination. That wasn't creepy. Okay. Oh. Is Oriki in room 7? No, they're in rooms 12 and 13, right? Hmm. Armor crawling his way over there. Chitane going to check it out. She's curious. Hmm. Ohio. Oh, hey, buddy. More bedhead every time. Hmm. Or was it just Chitane going out to check it out? Or someone else going to check it out? Rie? It's one of the two younger sisters, right? Hmm. We saw dark hair, right? So her? Hmm. What did you see? So there's our title drop. Are you curious? Oh god, it's too bright. Too early. No. How with the shutters closed? Moderately humanoid. But the shutters. Hmm. I think it was her. Playing in there or doing something that she doesn't want other people to know about. Yeah. What's she hiding in there? What are you hiding, little girl? And whatever you do at night for funsies. Dance, maybe? Mm-hmm. Hmm. The other one without a name, again. What's up with that? So, no footsteps. Please don't go and find out whatever it is I'm trying to hide. That's probably totally innocent, but still. Withered flowers? Maybe. What are they for? A ritual dance? No. Just wanted it. Hmm. Okay, okay. Oh, it's Pigtails Girl. Maybe. Squeak, squeak. Doubt it. They saw something. I missed what was being stamped. I think that's the part of the key. Seems like the opposite. And blocked. Nice. They're getting clever with that. No, you gotta find the answer. Right. Right. A shadow cast from a fire against the shutters? Maybe. Swaying. I'm sticking with dance. Or a yukata on a hanger. That could work too. Damn it. How did the yukata get wet? Just to clean it? To wash it? Oh, because it rained. It's used for storage. Aw. Oh. She writes her name on everything. Oh. But she wanted to try it out in the rain, which you saw. Yeah. Oh. So what do? Gotta dry it. Wind Windows open, hang it up in the room. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh. Right. Right. Sure. Whoa. The petals. Oh, it's light. Wow, it looks like flower petals though. Hmm. Maybe I don't want a sister. Rose colored. Oh. Aw. Yeah, it's proof. Siblings are cool. Aw. Hmm. Little birds can remember. Movie screening? Cool. Of like a movie film club or something? Probably. Okay. This was a really fun one. I liked this episode a lot. Um, I think really well done, and the mystery definitely jerked me around a little bit. I caught on that it was probably the pigtail girl, but the reasoning it definitely escaped me. I thought for some reason that she was practicing something in there, or like embarrassed of something that she was doing, which is kind of true. But I thought that it was actually her in the light moving against the light, but no, it was just the yukata hanging, which is pretty brilliant. The whole the whole scene and situation was a lot of fun, and um, I like the way that they sort of distanced Oreki from the actual explanation. It gives me more of a feeling, and we show him, closing his eyes and letting his imagination flow as this whole scenario starts happening. It's very clear that we are inside his head, imagining the things that are being explained, which I think is a wonderful way of framing this kind of storytelling and giving us just the information that he has. Very cool. I also I like the idea of Chitanda being super invested in the idea of a sibling without any actual experience with it, and it's something that I mean I'm an only child, but I've seen other people talk about like, oh, you're so lucky to have siblings to other people who do have siblings. I've never been much interested in having a sibling. I've always been kind of happy that I'm an only child. Although it's a give and take. You lose out on things by being an only. But I've heard such sentiments before, and it's always like, nah, you really don't want it. You really don't. It's not all it's cracked up to be. But at the same time, there's always something funny there where siblings often fight and have rivalries and maybe even profess to hate each other, but there's always a bit of a bond and a willingness to help, which is exactly what's displayed, if not stated, in this episode. It's very show don't tell you know. I will say that the two little ones are pretty cute, and the whole situation is pretty cute. And oh, the ways that we continually block Oreki's parts are fucking great, with the like grandpa this way, and then the floating thing. And KyoAni, more than any other studio, knows how to make things extremely how do I put it? They know how to sexualize their characters without going too far, and to do so in what comes across as an innocent way, which is kind of what we get here. And we're just having him imagine what Chitanda is doing. Just the idea of this very attractive girl across a wall from him being nude. And I was praying as we went into this that there wouldn't be any of that contrived like let's go take a peek bullshit that comes in on like every Hot Springs episode of anything. And there wasn't, and I'm quite happy about that. Um but it's interesting because a little while ago I talked about Shaft and fan service, because Shaft is another studio that leans heavily into fan service in their shows, but in a very different way than KyoAni does. And I think that some of that has to do with the number of female staff who work at KyoAni. I don't know, but they're two studios that are very distinct in the ways that they do fan service from any other anime studio that I've seen. Because there's like this idea of this is what anime fan service is, and both KyoAni and Shaft kind of go beyond that in different ways. Shaft does fan service with pride, like they go all out, and they get kind of crazy with it, which we see throughout Monogatari and throughout things like Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, where I mean there's a character in Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei who is very literally and in universe called the panty shot character, um, along with a number of characters who are often sexualized for very little reason other than the audience's titillation. KyoAni, on the other hand, makes extremely attractive characters and then makes them makes the fan service of them occur without showing much. There's an elegance to the way that KyoAni does fan service that it reminds me of I don't know, I feel like there's an exact quote on it. Um but like to my mind, there are two things that are incredibly fucking sexy in this world, and one of them is a nude woman who wants to be and is doing it for who's aware of her sexuality and using it. And the other is a woman in a beautiful dress who is also aware of exactly what she's doing. Sayonara's that's or Shaft shows often lean into the like full or close to it nudity and aware of it, whereas KyoAni shows don't show anything usually or show very little, and that's more than enough. Like we get it in the scene where Chitanda actually comes into the room. She's almost never in frame, and there's this moment where he looks up at her and freaks out, and it's her face and her eyes and her hands and her touch and the blush on her cheeks, and I think there's one shot, yeah, just like her collarbone, right? Just this area is enough to freak him the fuck out. It's adolescent, and well, I would admit I've heard some criticisms of KyoAni shows as like they're they are devoid of sex and sexuality, and I don't think that's the case. I think that they are more sensual than anything else, and I think that's very real, especially when you're looking at um, adolescents, people who aren't familiar with sex and aren't familiar with the bodies of the opposite sex. Like just a little bit of collarbone or the nape of the neck in Liz and the Bluebird, or in even in K-On! Or anything like that. Like KyoAni, Shaft will blow up the skirt of one of their characters and show their entire panty shot. KyoAni will have it flutter in the wind and just reveal a little bit of leg. They're very different, and they serve sort of different purposes, but both are fascinating and very much steeped in sexuality. I think that I think that KyoAni knows exactly what they're doing when they're doing it, and I can't say that one is more effective than the other, but I will say that personally I appreciate the restraint that Kyoto Animation uses so often with their characters and their bodies. It's just an interesting thing that I want to bring up because it's a very different take on females in an anime, and one that I really appreciate. I don't know, maybe this whole discussion that I'm talking about sounds super out there, or it sounds disgusting to you, but fan service is as much a part of anime as mechs or shonen protagonists with big dreams. Like drawing sexy girls in your show or in your manga is a part of the medium. It's so deeply ingrained into it. And there are different ways that different studios accomplish what they're trying to with it. You know, you've got the classic Gainax jiggle, which is one extreme, and you've got the classic Shaft overabundance of panty shots and lots of skin showing, which is another extreme. And then you've got KyoAni, where when we if we ever turn the camera in a male gazy sort of way onto the female characters in the scene, it's done with a bit of a deft touch. It's really interesting to me. Really interesting. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's fascinating, and I think that if you wanted to, you could go through and write a dissertation of sorts on the different ways in which different anime studios and different authors for different manga as well harness the innate, well, back to the last episode, the innate lustiness of their audience and desire for such things in very different ways. KyoAni does this combination of showing very little, if anything, combined with extremely cute, extraordinarily attractive character designs animated fluidly that creates a very sensual vibe if they want to. And I think that you can point to the ending of Hyouka as one example of exactly this. The characters in it are showing more skin than they almost ever do in any KyoAni show, but are very sensual in their actions and in the way that they're shot. And then you get other studios like Shaft who go kind of all out, balls to the wall, and almost over the top with it to the extent that it becomes a joke. Same goes for studios like Trigger, especially if you look at a show like Kill la Kill, where fan service and clothedness is actually a textual element of the series, as well as being a massive, like, I mean, it's the plot. It is literally the plot as well as the plot. Um, but I think that might be an interesting subject of an essay or video essay if one were so inclined. Just to talk about the way that different shows from different studios and different directors and different individuals in the industry view and through their view create things that present especially the female body in different ways. I have to say that I think Kyoto Animation's mean method of doing fan service, and I'm not trying to like jump around it or say that they're not doing fan service because they are and they know it, but they're doing it like a woman in a beautiful dress walking into a room who knows that eyes are on them. Not because they're showing anything, but because they're not. I don't know. I don't know. Weird tangent, but I had to bring it up because it was really interesting and evident in this scene. It also feeds into the high school adolescent mindset of someone like Oreki, to whom this is a scary thing, but also a fascinating thing that he can't help but think about. In any case, I think this was a really cute episode full of kind of wonderful moments and a growing just little bits and pieces of additional growth toward a romantic interest between Oreki and Chitanda. I really liked this episode. It was a lot of fun. I liked both of these episodes a lot. Like a lot. They were both really good. So, Hyouka continues to be a fun show. I will continue to be watching it. And yeah, let's wrap it up for now. So, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Hyouka, episodes 6 and 7. I hope that you've enjoyed these couple of episodes as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we dive into episode 8 and onward and see where we go from here. See you there. Peace.